How's it going? I'm Alan. This is Burn the Stealerships. Thanks for stopping by. I created this channel to show you how to work on and maintain your own vehicle. Today we're going to be working on this 1998 Ram 1500. I'm going to be replacing the battery hold down bracket, and on this truck, to do so, you have to pull the battery box. I'm going to show you how to do that as well, and we'll get through it together. It's hotter than two rats fucking in a wool sock at the gates of hell here in North Carolina, so let's try to knock this out quick. All right, we're going to be working on the driver's side of the vehicle. I've done a lot of work on this truck over the years, and the last little bit of shit boxery is this bungee that has always held the battery down since I've owned it. So this is a pretty quick fix, and I'm going to show you the parts and the tools you need to do the job. So let's jump into it. All right, let's hop into the materials you need for this project. Here is the battery bracket hold down kit. I purchased this on eBay. I just typed my year, make, model, battery bracket in, and it came up with this. I did have to make two small modifications to make this work. The first one is these trucks came with a Group 34 size battery from the factory, which is what this bracket is designed to hold down. However, I'm running a larger Group 65 battery in this truck, and I had to use an angle grinder to extend out the areas that drop down near the bolt holes. So yep, just use an angle grinder and then repainted with Rust-Oleum to seal the metal. And then also these holes are pretty large right here, so I went and got washers from the hardware store. So hopefully the heads of these bolts don't booger out the holes and the bolts drop through, so the washers should help with that. Next, hand tools. We're going to be using this Icon 3/8 ratchet paired with a 3/8 extension. The hold down bolts are 8mm heads, and then nuts and bolts holding the battery box in place are going to be a 10mm, 13mm, and I have a mix deep well and the standard size sockets in case I run into any access issues. So the first step is going to be remove the bungee from your battery. If you don't have a bungee, that's really cool. Then let's disconnect the negative. And then we'll do the positive because we need to pull this battery out. Now that we have the battery out, we're going to unplug the battery temperature sensor, which is this connector right here. It's pretty straightforward. There's a tab that you push down right there. I've already partially disconnected the connector because it took two hands to do it, but push down and pull. Next, we're going to grab our 13mm socket. We have 4 bolts. We have 2 in the fender, 1 right there, and 1 right there, and 2 more down low. 1, 2. All right, next we're gonna crawl underneath the truck from the driver's side, and you'll see those 2 nuts right there underneath the fender. Those are going to be 13mm nuts, and I found that you can access those best with a standard size 13mm socket. All right, the last 3 bolts holding the battery box in place are going to be down low. They actually hold the speed control servo on, which you don't need to disconnect, but you do need to unbolt it. So the first bolt is right there on that metal bracket. And then there's 2 more right there, more on the driver's side. You don't need to disconnect the speed control servo. You can just move it to the side once these bolts are out. All right, now all the nuts and bolts have been removed. We can remove the battery box. It just comes right out. My battery box was missing these bolt clips. I don't know if that's the correct terminology for them, but they're the clips that have female threads for the bracket hold down bolts. To get these off, I just took a flathead screwdriver and just pried them right off. And then the new ones, just you can press them in by hand. Also to note, if your battery box has some corrosion on it, this is an excellent time to clean it out, get all that battery and road debris off of it. But yeah, make sure you have these. The kit that I ordered came with a stainless steel set, so hopefully that will cut down on any rust and all that good stuff. All right, now with the clips in place, it's time to reinstall the battery box. I line it up with these bolts right here, and don't forget you got the bolts really low on the fender. There they go. Yeah, and just make sure you're not pinching any of the wiring harness, any of the wires underneath it. And we're ready to start screwing these nuts and bolts down. All right, we'll start at the top. I like getting these hand tight first, just in case the box has shifted during reinstallation. If you just get them hand tight, you can still kind of wiggle the box around. So we'll get everything in like this, and then we'll tighten everything down with the ratchet. Don't forget about these guys under the fender. And don't forget these speed control servo bolts. You can kind of see where the bracket was, but there's going to be that one on the left and then two on the right. And this is the access is a little tight on this, so I'm going to put the camera down and get these in hand tight. All right, with the battery box nuts and bolts tightened down, it's time to install your hold down bracket. So it slides over the battery like this. Then you take your hold down bolts, and remember those are 8mm. And they slide into the clips down there. All right, I'm gonna tighten these down with both hands, and then I'll be back. I'm really pleased with that. That looks a little bit better than the bungee cord. And don't forget to reconnect your battery temperature sensor right there. Push till it clicks, and then it's time to reconnect the battery. And there you have it, folks. Probably only took about an hour. Really not bad, and yeah, I'm very pleased with that. All right, that concludes today's video. Again, thanks for stopping by, and stay tuned for the next one.